Now let's go to Atlanta and Trevor Matich.
It's raining outside in Atlanta, but perfect inside the Georgia Dome as the Falcons try to keep their playoff hopes alive against Buffalo. They'll have to do it without their starting defensive end, Brady Smith, and fullback Bob Christian strained his calf in practice last week. He will play, but he'll be limited. For Buffalo, their starting tailback Travis Henry will miss this week's game. Lawyer Malloy of the Patriots fell on his knee and sprained it last week, and that's a big loss for the Bills. He has been the workhorse. Sean Bryson, his former University of Tennessee teammate, will try to pick up the slack today. That's the story from here. Let's go back to Jim Nantz in New York.
All right, well, thank you, Trevor, for that story. Coming up later in today's doubleheader game here on CBS, everyone in America will see Cleveland taking on Green Bay out in Lambeau Field, where the tundra should be nice and frozen today. The United States Postal Service delivers today's top performers. Upper right corner of your screen. Here are the players you might want to consider starting. They may have big days, or you may not want to. We'll also list the ones who could struggle. Bottom of your screen, all the pertinent game information. We're going to begin with Seattle against the Giants. And Mike, I want to remind you that it's not impossible for the Giants to win that NFC East with that Eagles loss yesterday. If they can win this one against Seattle, next week they take on the Eagles. A win there could come down to the last week of the season.
Come on.
They could beat the Eagles head-to-head. The last week of the season, Philadelphia plays at Tampa, and the Giants are at home against Green Bay. Go ahead, Mike.
Dips and butts for candies and nuts. We'd have a Merry Christmas. Sean Alexander will end that today. They're going to rush the ball down the Giants' throat.
Hey, I think Craig James is onto something here. There's a report, too. Corin Robinson and Darrell Jackson, the wide receivers of Seattle, down the field from Hasselbeck.
Well, you know, Mike, you said Seattle is going to run the ball down the Giants. The Giants' strength is that defensive line against those formations. This game is going to be real close.
There you go. You give him a chance. I'm just trying to get him the next week's game against Philadelphia to keep it alive.
Yeah, for you.
He says forget about it. New Orleans against Tampa Bay. This is like an elimination game right here, Mike.
No, it's not like an elimination game. It is an elimination game. And maybe the Saints are going to go back to playing football like they've been playing all year. Forget about that trick stuff they tried against the Rams and slam it right down the Tampa Bay's throat.
Well, the Tampa Bay Bucs are the 30th ranked running team in the league, 78.5 yards a game.
Wow.
The reason that the window of opportunity is slamming shut on their fingers is Brad Johnson has not produced the quarterback position.
And you know, you look at both defenses really play well only on occasion. I think this week the Saints will win because they got the better back and they got the better quarterback.
All right, so let's go ahead then and pick the top performers of the day. Mike, you're up.
Well, I'm going to go with Cordell Stewart. Cordell Stewart against Detroit's defense. I think Cordell Stewart's going to have a big day.
Well, Priest Holmes lit up San Diego for 181 yards. Last time these two teams meet, repeat.
Wow. Hey, how about Curtis Martin going against the Indianapolis Colts?
You guys are all big on the Jets here against the Colts. We'll talk about that later. Thank you, gentlemen. For more.
The NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36.
The Giants being introduced, they'll host Seattle, and barring a Super Bowl appearance by the Seahawks, the next time they play an NFC team after today, they will be in that conference next year. They'll make the shift over. Mike, some last thoughts, Seattle Giants.
Well, my only thought is one thing. I think Seattle's going to win the game for one reason. I think they're going to run Sean Alexander and be very successful in controlling the clock.
Everyone wants to know why the Giants have been so disappointing this year. To me, it's the defense has not played up to snuff, and Kerry Collins has been unseen since that Minnesota playoff game last year.
Well, I think you go right back what you're saying. Who has the best quarterback? Has Hasselbeck grown enough to be better than Kerry?
All right. For those of you scheduled to see only the Browns-Packers game at 4 p.m. Eastern, we're back in just a moment. But for most of you, it is game time on the NFL Today. Enjoy it all right here on CBS, and happy holidays to you and yours. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Have a great day.
Georgia Dome, Buffalo's first trip inside the big house to play the Atlanta Falcons. Hi, everyone. I'm Craig Bolerjack along with Trevor Matich. Atlanta still in the playoff picture. Trevor, it's a slim chance, but it's a chance.
Yeah, and in order for that chance to work out, they've got to protect Chris Chandler. When he's vertical, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he's been sacked 15 times in the last 2 games. They'll have to do a much better job of protecting him today against Buffalo's young defensive front. For Buffalo, Travis Henry, tailback, is out. He'll be replaced by Sean Bryson. Bryson hasn't been used much. Henry has been the workhorse, but he is actually faster than Travis Henry. The Bills think he might be able to rip off some big plays today against the Falcons' struggling defense.
And Bryson's family is here in Atlanta for a holiday reunion. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local station.
If you're on a nostalgia kick, so is 60 Minutes, and no one has more of it or does it better than they do. Starting tonight with Muhammad Ali.
Joe Mantegna, James Garner, First Monday, a new series premiering January 15th.
What would it be worth to wake up in a great mood?
I'm in a great mood!
Because you had a good night's sleep.
I slept like a baby!
In a nice, comfortable room.
What a room, yeah!
How about 10% off?
Hey, I like that 10%.
With Super 8's VIP card, it's yours, guaranteed.
VIP, that's me!
At over 1,900 locations. Clean, friendly Super 8.
Clean, friendly, yeah!
Super 8, all the room you want.
Yeah!
Welcome back to NFL Sunday Ticket Control Center, everybody. I'm your host, Spencer Tillman. And guess what? I'm pretty sure I've got a perfect gift for you today. 11 exciting NFL matchups for you to choose from, 9 of which are about ready to start in just a few minutes. Now, one NFL quarterback has gotten most everything on his wish list so far this season, and that would be Pittsburgh's Cordell Stewart. After being relegated to wide receiver by Coach Bill Cowher just 2 years ago, Stewart now appears to have mastered the quarterback spot. He's led the Steelers to 6 straight victories, including that dramatic 26-21 win over Baltimore last Sunday night. Stewart was huge, 333 yards passing, 55 more on the ground. Now, with those kind of gaudy numbers, it's no surprise his name is starting to pop up as a potential MVP candidate. The Steelers host the Lions, who are on a win streak, by the way. But the big game of the day, to be sure, the Saints at Tampa Bay, 2 teams on the NFC playoff bubble. Now, the Bears, leaders of the NFC Central, are in Washington, where the Redskins hope to get back to 500. Now, the Giants also look to get there against the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams have a chance to improve to 8-0 on the road when they visit Carolina. Only 5 other teams have done that since 1970. 4 went on to win the Super Bowl. Now, at 4 o'clock, the Browns visit Lambeau Field. The Packers try to clinch their first playoff trip in 3 years. Enjoy the games, everybody. I'll see you later here on NFL Sunday Ticket.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
The Atlanta Falcons soared into the NFC West race for the first 3 quarters of the season, including 3 straight wins in November. They stood peachy at 6-4. December, though, has been a disappointment. 3 straight losses, and playoff hopes have virtually flown the coop. Buffalo can't point to anyone but themselves. They're down and out, yet willing to spoil any team's playoff hopes. The Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Alex Van Pelt took over for the injured Rob Johnson 5 weeks ago. Knows this West Coast offense and will pose a big challenge for the Atlanta secondary. Bills, Falcons next.
Subway presents Fresh Starts, a tribute to the emerging teams and players making the unexpected happen. Subway, eat fresh. Head coach Marty Morningweg's Lions finally earned their first victory of the season, thanks in part to rookie quarterback Mike McMahon, who accounted for 316 yards in a 27-24 Week 14 win over the Vikings. The Steelers clinched the AFC Central title with stellar performances from quarterback Cordell Stewart and receiver Plexico Burress in a 26-21 victory over the Ravens.
His name is Henry, Clay Henry. He's a fireman and a Jared fan from Subway. He got real big on burgers and fries. Now he's down to a smaller size. Gets his might from his veggie delight. Great taste each day from his local Subway. He's Henry, Clay Henry.
With the help of exercise and the great taste of Subway's 7 sandwiches with just 6 grams of fat or less, people like Clay Henry are inspirations for everyone to follow.
Subway, eat fresh.
Happy holidays to you. Buffalo at Atlanta, Georgia Dome. We look at the NFC playoff pictures. Falcons outside, Trevor, looking in. Atlanta, however, tied with 2 other teams. It's going to be tough down the stretch. The Redskins and the Giants also to looking in the playoffs. And Buffalo, well, it's a season of disappointment at 2-11, 0-6 in division play.
And they've got a very, very young team in Buffalo. And the beginning of the season with new schemes and new coaches and being so young, they struggled mightily. They've been playing hard and well over the last several games, and Atlanta catches them at a tough time as they're trying to stay alive in the playoffs.
Falcons won the toss and will receive. A flag is down on the kick by Shane Graham into the end zone, but a flag thrown at the 35-yard line to start this game. Derek Vaughn, area's number 37, was back to receive. So Chandler will have to wait.
Well, you get a young team. Greg Williams not happy with that. They want to finish strong, Buffalo does, and you don't finish strong by starting the opening kickoff by being offsides.
Offside on the kicking team. Number 41, 5 yards, re-kick.
That's Philip Crosby's backup fullback. You know, you just get all excited. You're a young player. You're all keyed up. Your coach is in his first season as the head coach, and he wants you to go, and you end up offsides.
Rookie head coach of the Bills, and there's on the other side a man been around this game a long time. Dan Reeves, 3rd stop as a head coach. 5 years in Atlanta. Spent 12 in Denver and 4 with the New York Giants.
Look at that 30-yard line. And you're going to see right there the kicker. As soon as he kicks that off, number 41, Philip Crosby, is over the top. And it only has to be 1 step, but look at what that 1 step has done. The momentum, you get keyed up, getting ready to go for the game. You're excited about it. You get your rhythm in pregame warm-up, but all of a sudden the game is delayed by 3 or 4 minutes because they got to go reset the thing.
Trevor, you played this game for 12 years. I mean, what a way to start this game. I mean, you got playoff implications for the Falcons. Buffalo trying to spoil the show. And it's a short kick, 2nd time around. Boy, Vaughn dropped it at the 20, picks it up, and still on his feet, dropped to the 29-yard line. And here comes Chris Chandler. 14-year pro, over 2,300 yards passing this season, 14 touchdowns with 11 interceptions. You know, when Chandler stays healthy, good things usually happen for the Atlanta Falcons.
Problem is keeping him healthy.
Maurice Smith will start in the backfield, and a 2 wide receiver set, 2 tight ends also with Kelly and Crumpler. 1st and 10 from the 29. Maurice Smith up the middle, maybe 3 yards to the 33-yard line. Tackled there by Brandon Spoon. A pickup of 4, and let's set that Atlanta offense. And up front, it's going to be Whitfield, Garza, McClure, Forney, and Salam. Running back is Mo Smith. The wideouts, Martin and Mathis. The tight ends will start with that double set of Kelly and Crumpler. 2nd down, 6. Chandler, first throw of the day. Throws at the flat. It's caught. Maurice Smith, not much. In fact, maybe loses a yard back to the 33-yard line. And defensively, for Buffalo, a very young Bills defense. Up front is the old guy. Hanson's been around 11 years. Larson, Edwards, and Schobel. The rookie from TCU. Linebackers are active. Newman, Spoon, and Jay Foreman. And the secondary, the 2 corners of Winfield and Clements, they'll hit you. Oh, they'll hit you. Carpenter and Hill are the safeties. Third down and 6 for Atlanta. 3 wide receivers. They stack it on the far side. Movement up front. flags. Chandler dropped at the 25-yard line, and it was Jay Foreman.
Well, Ronnie Bradford, or check that.
Defense, offside, number 23.
And that's Pearson.
5-yard penalty.
This is what
Still
happens
third
when
down.
you've got a young defense. Now, Greg Williams, a defensive-oriented coach, saw in the breakdown films watching the Falcons offense how much success defenses had blitzing defensive backs off the blind side of Chris Chandler. So they put Pearson down there, defensive back, and try to get him to go. The problem was that Chandler came with a hard count. Pearson jumped, and so rather than a blitz and a possible sack, it's now 3rd and short.
At less than 2 minutes into this game, the Bills whistle for 2 flags for 10 yards. 3rd down and short. Fumble the snap. Chandler, loose ball still on the ground, and it's picked up by the Falcons. 1st down, unbelievable, at the 46-yard line. And Bob Whitfield, the 10-year pro, able to gather that loose ball in for a 1st down. That's the 1st down the hard way.
That's the hard way for Atlanta, but this is what's happened to Buffalo all season long. If a ball's been on the ground, not only does the other team jump on it, they jump on it for a 1st down. Here's Whitfield. The ball's going to be on the ground. Now, Whitfield 70 is going to get up off the ground and jump on that thing. An offensive lineman 5 yards down the field. The ball does not bounce to Buffalo Bills this season.
You know, he's lost 30 pounds from a year ago. Told us in our meeting on Thursday, hey, I'm agile. Right there, proof positive. Chandler wants to throw, far sideline, pitch and catch. Mathis has it, 9 yards. Will bump him out of bounds at the 45 of Buffalo. Antoine Winfield, the left corner. And Trevor, as we mentioned, it's an outside possibility, but still a chance for Atlanta. Atlanta must win their 3 remaining games. Very simple. Tampa Bay, New Orleans also playing today. The winner must lose the last 2, or the loser of that game must lose 1 more. Giants must lose 1 more. That's just the simple way of looking at it.
Yeah, and there's so many different possibilities within that, but for Atlanta, they have to win out. That means today.
A pickup of 8, 2nd down 2 at the 45 of Buffalo. Handoff, Maurice Smith. Good pursuit by the guys in white to the line of scrimmage at the 45, and Keith Newman made the tackle. 3rd-year pro out of North Carolina.
Well, this Buffalo defense is very, very young. The only guy with more than 3 years in the NFL on that starting defense is Phil Hansen, and he's got 11. He almost has more years than the rest of them combined. And so in the beginning of this season, with the new defense that Greg Williams has brought in, even Phil Hansen hasn't been able to help the young rookies learn the nuances of the defense because he doesn't know it either. Well, at this point of the season, they're getting better at it, and they're playing much better.
3rd down and 2. Shotgun for Chandler. High snap. Sets up, throws the screen to the flat, over the shoulder catch by Christian. And to the 40-yard line, 1st down, Atlanta. Bob Christian was a question mark to even play in this game, let alone start, with a calf injury.
I went out to practice on Thursday. When I walked in about 5 minutes after practice started, everyone else was in pads, and there's Bob Christian working with the trainer. He comes from the opposite side of the formation. The idea there is to create space so that the linebackers have to chase him. Then you can see Jay Foreman gives him plenty of space, and that's how they get the 1st down. But he is hobbled today with that calf injury.
7th play of this drive coming up. They split the backs on 1st and 10 from the 40. Maurice Smith right up the middle, 5 yards, and then dropped at the 35. Maurice Smith has been hobbled with some problems on the injury department, with some knee problems, an ankle injury, and in fact, Mo Smith will have some off-season knee surgery to repair some cartilage.
Yeah, and there's Jamal Anderson. Jamal injured in the 3rd game of the season against Arizona, and that really hurt this team. But Maurice Smith has stepped up and played well when he's been healthy. But for the last month, he's been anywhere from 50% to 85% today. He told me that in the locker room a couple days ago.
Now, you look good in that coat, by the way. They'd have to get an extra large or double X. Maurice Smith tried it up the middle now, bumped outside, chopped down at the 37-yard line. Winfield from the left side, the left corner, with a picture-perfect tackle.
He's their leading tackler, and the problem is Winfield is just a little bitty defensive back. You've got a big bruising tailback in Maurice Smith, but Winfield doesn't just come up and grab cloth. He lays a blow on him, and these cornerbacks will come up and paste you. if you're not careful.
Won the Jim Thorpe Award, senior at Ohio State, 2-time All-American. This played nearly 6 minutes, this drive nearly 6 minutes old. Third down, Chandler, shotgun, pressure, throws, man coverage. It's caught. Finneran bumped down at the 2-yard line. And Clements saved the touchdown, 36-yard gain. Finneran, a big target. Trevor at 6'5", and caught an 18-yard touchdown last week against the Colts.
And a good safety valve for Chandler. They blitz 2 defensive backs right up the middle, and they get a hit on it. But Chandler's able to throw the ball up in the air, knowing that Finneran can go up and take it away from those smaller defensive backs. Now, Chandler may not have thrown that ball at all had he not had his 6'5" receiver down the middle.
First and goal at the 2-yard line. Kozlowski in motion. Maurice Smith up the middle. Touchdown, Atlanta. Impressive opening drive. It started off slowly with a couple of flags, but the Falcons move it downfield, and Maurice Smith with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
You know, you talk about it starting off slowly. Buffalo's defense was stymieing Atlanta's offense, and then 2 things happened. The offsides penalty by Pearson on a blitz, and then the fumble that offensive lineman Bob Whitfield recovered instead of Buffalo.
Extra point, Feely boots it up and good. He's perfect on the season now, 23 of 23 in point after attempts. Atlanta strikes on the opening drive. A 2-yard run by Maurice Smith. 7-0 Falcons. Atlanta scores on their opening drive, and don't forget to log on to NFL.com as this week's Stat Pack breaks down kickers and their ability to get the job done in crunch time this season. Just go to NFL.com or America Online, enter keyword NFL.com. Feely kicks away. Short kick taken at the 10-yard line. Sean Bryson up the middle he goes, breaks a tackle, goes outside, still on his feet. Bryson at the 40. And ran out of bounds at the 42-yard line. A fine return by Bryson. John Del Cardi made the tackle. We'll come back to the Georgia Dome. Buffalo. We'll have it after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new 200-horsepower Acura RSX Type S. IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level. And by Zales, the Diamond Store.
Back at the Georgia Dome. Buffalo's first offensive series as you look at Alex Van Pelt. 6 straight starts since Rob Johnson went down with that broken collarbone. They will start with the pitch. Bryson breaks a tackle at the 50. Still on his feet. Flags are down. And Bryson with power and speed to the 39 of Atlanta. Finally, Ray Buchanan made the tackle. And Bryson's mom, Susie, and family on the right with her Christmas sweater on, watching. Flags are down.
Personal foul. 15-yard face mask on the defense, number 34. We'll add 15 yards to the end of the run. First down.
You know, I don't think Ray Buchanan, number 34, who had the penalty, really fully expected Sean Bryson to arrive there with as much force as he did. Good blocking, and look at the burst that comes up now. And look at the force he arrives with. And I think Ray Buchanan was not expecting that and grabbed the face mask so he could sort of save himself from getting run over.
Trevor, you saw Gerald McBurrows, the strong safety, number 22, with a nice hit right on the thigh pad. But Bryson, who goes about 235, just ran right through him.
He's their biggest back, and he's one of the fastest players on the Buffalo Bills football team.
First and 10, Buffalo down 7. Their opening drive as Van Pelt goes back to throw. Bullet to the middle of the field and is caught at the 15-yard line. That's Peerless Price. And offensively for the Buffalo Bills. Up front, it's Fina, Brown, Conity, Ostrowski, and Jonas Jennings, a rookie on the right side. Bryson gets a start at running back. Sinners at the fullback. Moles and Price, your wideouts, and the tight end is Remersma. A pickup of 9. Boy, impressive start for Buffalo here on the road. Second down short. Van Pelt to give. Bryson, big hole up the middle. Touchdown, Buffalo.
Well, last week, Edgerrin James was out. Backup tailback Dominique Rhodes was in. The Falcons defense thought that they were going to have a shot at shutting down that running game, but Dominique Rhodes lit him up. And all of a sudden now, backup tailback Sean Bryson. Look at the burst through the hole. Look at the increase in speed once he gets to the hole, and that is surprising Atlanta coming from a backup tailback. That's his first NFL touchdown.
You know, he led the Bills in rushing last year with just under 600 yards, and the kick is up and good. Graham connects. Oh, impressive drive. Bryson, it was all Bryson for Buffalo as he rumbles up the middle. We're tied at 7.
The world's greatest golfers will claim history as their own. The PGA Tour is on CBS Sports.
Quick touchdowns by both Atlanta and Buffalo, tied at 7. 7:02 left, opening quarter.
And what a critical thing for a young team, Buffalo, that's 2-11, to answer a touchdown with a touchdown of their own on the road.
Greg Williams, the head coach, the rookie head coach of Buffalo, said it best to us yesterday, Trevor. It's all about how you finish. And this team is trying to finish strong. Vaughn tackled down at the 21-yard line.
It's Philip Crosby down there. Pray low. This is just a run up the middle. Look at the burst of Bryson right there. As soon as he hits that hole, he turns on another jet, another gear. And I'll tell you, the defense of the Falcons has really seriously struggled the last 3 games, allowing 34 points a game plus. I mean, they have personnel that's much better than that, but there's a myriad of things that are not coming together for them.
From the 21-yard line, Atlanta. Second offensive series, Maurice Smith, maybe a yard as he leans to the 22-yard line. Ron Edwards, who gets the start for Pat Williams at right defensive tackle. Williams out, Trevor, with a broken fibula. In fact, they're missing their 2 front guys, Sean Price and Pat Williams today with injury.
And they're missing their middle linebacker. Remember Sam Coward?
Yeah.
He's out with an Achilles injury all season long. And even so, they haven't given up a touchdown, this Buffalo defense, in the last 6 quarters. They are coming together.
Second down and 9. Play action. Chandler, good protection, throws far sideline, close to a first down is Tony Martin, 36 years young, with the reception, and Nate Clements, the rookie.
And you said it, good protection. Before he makes the break, the ball's out. The ball's out now. And he turns his head later. The ball's halfway through his trajectory. And so there's not much that Nate Clements can do in man-for-man coverage. Tony Martin's been doing this for years with Chris Chandler. And as long as the offensive line protects Chandler, this will happen all game.
Chandler 5 for 5 to start this game, 58 yards and 5 different receivers. Mathis in motion. Chandler again, good protection, up and over the middle, caught at midfield. And again, Tony Martin made the cut as Chandler made the release. You protect Chris Chandler and he has a great throw downfield.
And the running game going so well allows this to open up. Clements is man for man again. He's got safety help in the middle. And what happens is the ball comes out from the time that Clements turns Martin loose to the safety. The safety doesn't get there in time. This all occurs because Chandler has the time to wait for it to develop.
Under 5 minutes left, opening quarter. 20-yard pickup by Martin. 1st and 10 at the 48 of Buffalo. Back to the ground, Maurice Smith. You can tell Buffalo's defense now loosening up a little bit because of the pass. Now they come back. Atlanta attacks with the run to the 46-yard line.
If they can continue to get the running game going like they have so far in this first quarter, Chandler's going to have even more of an advantage because of his experience. This young secondary, young defense of Buffalo is playing well the last several games. But take a look at the total experience of Atlanta's quarterback and 3 top receivers versus the secondary of Buffalo. And so there's a lot of little nuances in the NFL that they'll learn by being torched by. And Chandler wants to torch him a few times today and teach him a few lessons.
That was McCord out of the backfield, and incomplete pass. Quentin McCord, number 88, one of the 5 wideouts
hit the ground.
That's used in that Atlanta offense.
Well, he's throwing to many different people. He wants this Buffalo defense to have to cover everybody out there and not just key on 1 or 2 people. And so early in the game, Chandler, that's part of his experience. And Dan Reeves, in terms of calling those plays, is to make Buffalo look at every single guy out there and not know where they're going to get hit from next.
Atlanta so far successful, as you see, 3 of 3 on 3rd down conversions. Looking at 3rd down and 8. Chandler from the shotgun. Again, good protection, steps, throws, wide open. Up on the ladder is Mathis at the 25. Antoine Winfield made the tackle, but Mathis able to get between 3 white jerseys and pick up 21.
Well, last time they threw the ball, Buffalo rushed 7, dropped back 4. This time they rushed 3 and dropped back 8. Chandler reads it. So does Mathis, and Mathis doesn't continue his route. You can see there he gets in that hole in the zone and sits down and waits. And Chandler has the time to hit it.
I mentioned Martin's 36. Terrence Mathis is the young guy. He's 34.
Yeah, young.
1st down, 25-yard line of Buffalo. From the eye. Handoff, Christian, the fullback, to the 22. And Christian's that all-around back, Trevor. He can run with the ball, has a nice average of about 7.5 yards per carry, and a good receiver out of the backfield.
And can do a lot of different things for you. Therefore, it creates matchup problems on the defense. But what he just there is very important to what the offense will be able to accomplish today. I mean, they don't need to get a lot of rushing yards. They need to get enough rushing yards so that Buffalo has to respect the run. That opens up play-action pass, and that's what has not been there for the Falcons the last 4 games.
8th play of this drive. Double tight set once again. Lone back is Maurice Smith. Chandler to the sideline, and it's caught out of bounds. Algie Crumpler, the tight end, and Foreman, the outside linebacker, made the tackle.
And he hits another different receiver. They've got 3 tight ends that can catch the ball. Crumpler, one of the best in terms of pass receiving, and Chandler continues to spread it around, continues to give that young Buffalo defense more people to have to worry about.
How about that start in the 1st quarter? Already over 100 yards passing, 8 of 9.
And keep in mind again what this Buffalo team did last week to the hot New England Patriots. Held them without a touchdown.
3rd down and 2. Mathis in motion, movement up front to the end zone. Man coverage, and it's tipped and incomplete. Well, that was a chancy throw against the rookie Nate Clements, who had good body control.
This is the matchup we'll be watching all day. Chandler is staring at this matchup the whole time. He knows it's one-on-one. He's just waiting for his receiver to get free, but Tony Martin never does get free. Nate Clemens is a big, thick, powerful cornerback, and he tied him up physically that time.
Clements, a rookie out of Ohio State, the #1 pick a year ago. This will be from 35 yards. High snap, the kick is away and through the uprights. So for Feely, who's been very effective from 30 yards and better. So Atlanta scoring on their first 2 series. They lead by 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new Honda CR-V, a vehicle designed for your adventures in reality. And by Cellular One. When you need a cell phone, Cellular One is here.
Well, Monday on CBS, it's a night of great television, starting with The King of Queens, followed by The Ellen Show. Everybody loves Raymond, Becker, and Family Law. That's Monday right here on CBS. Feely just kicking that 35-yarder, has it teed up. Atlanta up by 10. Angles to the corner. Bryson at the goal line. Bryson at the 20. And hits a wall of black jerseys down at the 19. (10-7) Atlanta. We'll be back.
He was tough, spirited, and intimidating. yet he's remembered as compassionate and generous. CBS Sports presents The Bear, the legend of Coach Paul Bryant, next Saturday.
Three drives in this game, 3 scores, 10-7-11, and Wednesday on CBS, join President Bush and the world's biggest stars when America pays tribute to Jack Nicholson, Julie Andrews, and more. Don't miss the Kennedy Center Honors. That's Wednesday right here on CBS. 10-7 Falcons. Alex Van Pelt under center, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Bryson pulled down at the 23, and Trevor, we never had a chance. This game has moved so fast to set the Atlanta defense. And here up front, you'll find Patrick Kearney with 10.5 sacks. Travis Hall, Shane Dronette, and Chuck Wiley. The linebackers of Draft, Brooking, and Crockett. And the secondary experience on those corners, Buchanan and Ambrose will pinch you. And McBurrows and Bradford your safeties. To the 29. Eric Moles with the catch. Ambrose made the tackle. And that's the 63rd straight game Moles has had a reception.
And he gets this because Alex Van Pelt knows the offense. He's got motion into here. This guy follows him in, so he knows that there's man-to-man coverage on the top with Eric Moles. And so as soon as he sees that, he knows Moles will be open on the quick slant route because there will be no underneath coverage help. All that happened because of the motion.
Trevor Van Pelt ran this offense at Pittsburgh, had some time with Kansas City, and has really picked it up here with Buffalo. 3rd down and 1, and now Van Pelt will call for a timeout.
Timeout.
And we'll take a break. 50 seconds left, opening quarter. Atlanta by 3.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
We're looking for the closest shave. Ooh, not his. Couldn't get the tough spots. But he did. He got total closeness with the new Remington TCT, the only shaver designed to get the tough spots. With a unique system that first trims the hard-to-get hairs, followed by 3 flexing foils to cut even closer. And now introducing the new Remington Rotary TCT. More flexing action than any other. The new Remington TCT shavers. Total closeness or your money back.
10-7 Atlanta as Van Pelt makes his way back to the huddle. And Trevor, this Buffalo team, you find out quickly when you talk to Greg Williams, it's a disciplined team. He has brought discipline. I liked a couple of comments he told us. You know, yeah, I'm tough, but I wanted to show the guys there's personality behind the structure. How about this one? Wit behind the whip.
I like that.
Sounds like my 3rd grade teacher. It's going to be close. They're may have to bring the sticks out here. Up, 1st down.
Well, you can tell within 30 seconds of talking to a coach as a player or a former player whether or not you'd want to play for this guy. And he is a very disciplined coach, and he makes you work. It's intense to go to work at the Buffalo Bills complex. But you think of a player's coach. A player's coach is not really the guy that you want to play for. The player's coach is the guy that you want your teammates to play for because you want to win. And he is definitely a player's coach by that definition.
Well, he said he had wit, but he also carries the whip. Play action. Van Pelt steps up, throws over the middle, incomplete. Just about a stride and a half in front of Moles. Ambrose back there on coverage.
Well, that play is to try to take advantage of man coverage, but even though it wasn't complete, Van Pelt knows that that'll open up the running game. They've run so successfully with Sean Bryson over the course of this 1st quarter that Atlanta has been bringing up safeties to an 8-man front. And so they said, okay, let's back them back off. And that has that effect when you throw it that deep.
Final play of this quarter, just 2 seconds left on the clock. Remersma in motion. They're going to pitch. Bryson works near side, breaks a tackle down the sideline and popped out of bounds at the 49, but flags are down. A pair of flags around the 33-yard line.
And boy, the offensive line is going back. Yeah, they're indicating holding. You can always tell where the offensive line walks, that's where it's going to be because they want to mosey on back. Jonas Jennings had a marvelous.
Holding. Offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's tight end Jay Reamersma, and that just negates a beautiful run and even a nicer block. That was a 22-yard gain.
That ends the first quarter. Atlanta on top of Buffalo, 10-7. You'll return to the Georgia Dome after this message.
You know how Santa knows if you're bad or good? He can see you through his magic lens. Now we know the secret.
We just broke one of the biggest stories of all time right there. Start of the second quarter, second down on the 21-yard line. Van Pelt, 5-step drop, throws. It's complete and bumped out of bounds is Larry Sinners. And catching the football is, well, no big deal to Larry Sinners. He's the all-time leading receiver by a running back. That was number 758. 758, and that's his 73rd of the season.
And he is a guy that's critical to the development of these young Buffalo Bills. Greg Williams told us yesterday he has never seen Larry Sinners say anything wrong at the complex or have a poor effort practice. That example these young players need to learn.
Van Pelt under pressure, steps up and throws. And Sinners was met right when he caught the ball around the 32. Good shot, good hit by Brookie, number 56.
And finally, Atlanta's defense is settling down. Buffalo just went right through him in that first quarter, and they do have personnel. They've got to put it all together like Humpty Dumpty with the cracks. It makes a beautiful egg, but not if it's all in pieces.
Darian Gordon back to receive the punt. Leads the NFL with his 15-yard return average. We saw Billy White Shoes Johnson at the complex on Thursday. Said, boy, I wish I had some blockers like Gordon does this day and age. When I was back there, he still had his white shoes on, by the way. Gordon at the 29, Gordon at the 40. Gordon still on his feet to the 47-yard line. Hit by Fred Jones. 36-yard punt and an 18-yard return for Gordon. We'll be back.
January 8th.
Atlanta on top of Buffalo, 10-7. Coming up on the next Hill halftime report, join Jim, Mike, Randy, Jerry, all the scores, all the highlights, plus a report from the Cleveland Green Bay game. Now, you were talking about Santa with this magical camera. That kid's got the magical binoculars, keeping an eye on Mr. Claus.
Santa better be good.
Boy, not much as Buffalo makes contact at the 49-yard line. Larson and Newman with the tackle.
Boy, that was contact. That was a major league collision right up the middle of that defense. Keith Newman.
Young linebacking core for Buffalo. Trevor Newman, 3 years out of North Carolina. Spoon, a rookie from North Carolina. And Foreman, 3 years out of Nebraska. Second down and 8. Chandler, 3-step drop on the hot slant. Hooks up with Finneran to the 32-yard line. And Finneran had that touchdown last week against the Colts. This is an up-and-coming wideout for Atlanta. 6'5", 210. And you could tell when we talked to Chandler on Friday, Trevor, he really lit up about the potential of what this guy can become in the National Football League.
Yeah, and he knew it from throwing to him in practice, but it was just a matter of him coming through in games, and he has. As we look at Rayon Hill, strong safety, who's down and looks to be in a bit of pain. Rayon Hill very important to this run defense because they want to put 8 men up as much as they can to stop the run. He's the 8th guy.
Day.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Prudential Financial, growing and protecting your wealth. DirecTV, the #1 digital satellite entertainment provider. And by Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular.
Happy to report Rayon Hill, second year out of LSU, able to walk off the field under his own power. Pearson Prelo out of Virginia Tech, number 23, replaces Hill at the strong safety. First down, Atlanta. Rodney Thomas the ball carrier, to the 29-yard line. So Thomas gets his first carry as Mo Smith, his second carry as Mo Smith takes a breather. Tackled by Prelo.
Prelo in for Rayon Hill. We'll see if Rayon comes back. Rodney Thomas, a very quick back, very different from Jamal Anderson or Maurice Smith. This guy is a jitterbug. He makes a lot of cuts. He does a lot of jukes rather than pounding you in the hole. And you know, when you look at the balance of rush and pass, not just that, but also the balance of how many different receivers, 6 different receivers have caught passes. They've done a good job of spreading it around.
Chandler 9 of 11 throwing for 122 yards early. They bring the blitz. Chandler takes his seat back at the 39 and sacks, a major problem for Atlanta's front coming into today. 54 times they have given up a sack. Chandler's gone down. That's his 40th time he's gone down. Michael Vick been sacked 13.
Well, Keith Newman is going to come through untouched. This has been a real problem for this offensive front. And not only is he getting sacked, he's really getting hit an awful lot. As he comes through here, he sees Newman coming. He still looks downfield, and he's got enough sense to be able to soften the blow by kind of crouching down and stepping back. But, you know, they can't allow this to happen or they don't have a chance to win.
3rd sack of the season for Newman. Chandler back to pass. Flags are down. Throws. Nearly intercepted inside the 20-yard line. It falls incomplete. Finneran, the intended receiver, holding the call.
Well, now the offensive line had better be careful. 15 sacks allowed in the last 2 weeks. It's not all the offensive line's fault. The thing about this line of Atlanta is that it's good enough to be effective when the defense has to play honest and respect the run and the pass. But when the defense can stack
illegal
up
hands to the face. Number 74, hands to the helmet. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's Ephraim Salam. He's the one that allowed Keith Newman to come in and block the last play, and he overreacts and gets a penalty on this one. But this offensive line can do the job if the defense plays honest. But when they blitz all out like they did last play, this offensive line doesn't have the talent to overcome that. That's why it's critical for Atlanta to establish that run.
Peerless Price back to receive the punt from Moore at the 50.
Let's go!
Launches a high hanger. Price will let this one bounce inside the 10, inside the 6-yard line, right at the 5. Boy, nice pooch punt of 33 yards by Moore. It's the holiday season here in Atlanta. We wish you the very best. 10-7 Falcons.
It is here that you will witness a tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
Saturday, you can see the All-American icon known as Bear through the eyes of Joe Namath, Ken Stabler, Bo, and more on the legend of Coach Paul Bear Bryant, a CBS Sports special. And for more, go to cbs.sportsline.com, America Online keyword, enter CBS Sportsline. Van Pelt rolls and is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. That was Travis Hall, number 98, 7-year pro out of Brigham Young.
And he took the center, Billy Connolly, and just drove him straight back. It was a power move. Here he is. He just drives and drives and drives, and then the big paw goes up in the air. And, you know, that's Billy Connolly did a good job of not holding, because had he overreacted there and held in the end zone, would have been a safety.
Brings up 2nd down and 10, 11:01 left in the first half. Atlanta by 3. Bryson, boy, nearly broke it for a moment to the 11.
You know what? I love his burst. He's very quick going from 0 to speed. He and Peerless Price at the University of Tennessee National Championship game, they were teammates there, our National Championship year, and they both ran a 40 in the 4.3s, 4.36, 4.38. And so he is a very, very fast player. And so he's averaging 4.4 yards a carry here, partly because of the big plays in the first quarter, but look for him to bust out and get more runs for more than 20 yards today.
Bryson out, Sinners in. Bryson with 6 carries for 45 yards. First time we've heard this Falcon crowd get a little vocal on 3rd down and 4. Sinners, a surprise. Breaks it at the 30. Sinners at the 40. Sinners throws a stiff arm and down at the 40-yard line. Derek Vaughn chased down center's 12-year pro, and he picks up 50 yards.
And Reuben Brown, number 79, gets a great block on Chuck Wiley. Look at 79 pull blocks, number 99 Chuck Wiley. That's what opens it up. Everybody else is stacked in the middle. He makes one guy miss. That's Gerald McBurrows. And there he goes. He's known as a pass catcher, but this is the longest run of Larry Center's career.
50 yards. Trevor, he's ran for 94 all season long and picks up a chunk of 50. 1st and 10, Buffalo at the Falcon 40-yard line. There comes in the end round. Eric Moles has a block and then tripped up by the shoe tops at the 34 by Kearney. The left end, number 97.
Now, why do you run a reverse? You run that reverse because the onside running game is going so well that the defense overreacts. You mentioned earlier in the game how active the linebackers are. So you get them flowing to the left, Moles comes back to the right. And a defense that's playing it honest should never get hurt by a reverse. If you do gain 7 yards, it's because the defense has been overplaying the front side run.
2nd down and 4. Buffalo over 100 yards rushing. Van Pelt sets up the screen. Bryson pulls it down inside the 30 to the 30 or 26-yard line. A flag's down now. Travis Hall making the stop.
Illegal use of hands. And once again, Buffalo shooting themselves in the foot.
Offensive pass interference, number 85. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Yeah. That Reamersma can't believe it. And neither can. He was saying that the ball was completed behind the line. Let's see where the ball gets completed. Here's Reamersma. Now, if this ball gets completed behind the line of scrimmage, which it is, there cannot be pass interference on either side. There can be holding, but there can't be pass interference. What the official must have saw was that he must have thought that it was completed in front of the line.
4th flag thrown against Buffalo for 30 yards. Vivian Black in motion, number 89. They're going to pitch out to Bryson. Oh, he is chopped down. What a hit at the 43-yard line. You see Seattle on top of the Giants, 10-7, a game that Falcon fans are interested in. Chargers, Chiefs tied up at 7.
Baltimore over the Bengals. The Bengals, boy, they started strong and then have struggled of late. Quarterbacks are all injured.
That's a game of defense, too, where you got Takeo Spikes and Ray Lewis across the field.
And not just across the field, but across the media. They've been jobbing at each other along with Sharp.
3 wide receivers set, 3rd down. Van Pelt, good protection, throws over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Moles was the intended receiver, but Brooking, the middle linebacker,
The ball was tipped.
Was
There's
tipped.
no pass interference.
He was looking at Peerless Price all the way, and Price kind of sat down in the zone, and Van Pelt was waiting for Price to do something, and Price was waiting for Van Pelt to throw him the ball. Now he's staring at number 81 Price, staring at him, and finally he just drills it where he thinks Price ought to be going, and there's Moles back on the other side. That was just miscommunication between the quarterback and the receivers.
Mormon's first punt went 36 yards, and Gordon returned that punt 18. Sends it sky high, short. Gordon will let it bounce. Takes a touch maybe at the 11. They're going to throw the beanbag down. It was. Rolling inside the 5 and down at the 4-yard line, but it was touched at the 11-yard line.
And what all that pushing's about is that if it's touched by the defensive team, by Buffalo in this case.
There was illegal touching by the kicking team at about the 13-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Atlanta from there.
The rule is that an Atlanta returner can pick up that ball and run with it, and even if he fumbles, it's okay. Atlanta gets the ball back. That's what the pushing was about.
That's not.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Back inside the Georgia Dome, Atlanta with a 10-7 lead over Buffalo. And coming up next, second game of our doubleheader here on CBS, Cleveland at Green Bay. Tim Couch against Brett Favre. Maybe some MVP votes for the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. For more, go to NFL.com. America Online keyword NFL.com. Chris Chandler under center with a 3-point lead. 7:09 left before the half. And off Maurice Smith. Reaches out to the 14-yard line. Good tackle by Leif Larson, the left tackle, number 97.
Well, Maurice Smith is running up into a buzzsaw up in there. This defense 2 years ago, Buffalo, running the 3-4, was the third-ranked defense in the league. Guess who was number one? Tennessee. And now they're running that 4-3 and they're having to learn it, and they're learning it better now. They're running it better now than they have earlier in the season. That's a buzzsaw inside for Atlanta's running game.
And their head coach is Greg Williams, who was Fisher's D coordinator at Tennessee. Under heavy pressure, the ball picked off and touchdown Buffalo. Brandon Spoon. Rayon Hill, who was shaken up earlier, brought the heat on Chandler.
And how many times have you seen in Tennessee the Titans, coached by Greg Williams when he was defensive coordinator there, Blaine Bishop do that exact same thing, wearing a Titans uniform? Take a look right here. He's going to come completely unblocked. Chandler has no idea that he's there. Brandon Spoon has now had his second interception return this year for a touchdown, and he's just a rookie, and that's what the pressure that Greg Williams' defense brings. Most fumbles in the NFL, Craig, don't occur from running backs getting hit at the line of scrimmage. They occur from quarterbacks being hit and sacked and losing the ball.
Brandon Spoon out of North Carolina, fourth-round draft pick. Well, some guys play 12, 15 years and don't get a chance to put up numbers like that in the middle linebacking spot. Graham's kick. Hold on, flags are down. Officially, Trevor, a 7-yard interception returned by Spoon.
He's excited. He's a rookie. All of a sudden, 2 touchdowns. For goodness sake, there's a lot of offensive players that don't get 2 touchdowns in a season. But what a gift, and that gift was because of that pressure defense. Rayon Hill comes untouched and unseen, and that's a victory for the coordinators.
Chris Chandler, known and was given a great compliment, by the way, by Greg Williams, Buffalo's head coach. Very cool under pressure. I mean, to survive 14 years, Trevor, put that in perspective as the guys in stripes have their conference, but to survive in this league 14 years says a lot. 14
years and to get hit as much as Chandler gets hit.
We have a neutral zone infraction on the defensive team who jumped into the neutral zone and made the offense false start.
Looked like it was Chuck Wiley that jumped across. Doesn't really much matter. At this point, it's an extra point. You can push them back a lot farther than 5 yards. Right now, they just need to get the rules settled in. But again, this disrupts momentum now. Buffalo got it going. Huge momentum play, and all of a sudden, all that emotion dies down while the officials get it worked out. The question here is, do you decline the penalty or do you take the penalty?
The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
There you go. And there's the question. They wanted to make sure they got that right, because taking 5 yards here, it's not 5 yards, right? It's half the distance to the goal.
Right.
And so either way, a penalty against either team on this doesn't matter very much. They elect to take it on the kickoff because that gives them a better shot at kicking the ball out of the end zone, getting a touchback.
So Graham will try again. High snap, and the kick is away. Chip shot for the extra point through the uprights. And Spoon, a 7-yard interception off Chandler. 14-10 Buffalo.
What was that Passat commercial? The one with the fancy all-wheel drive thingy? What was the deal? If one wheel starts slipping, power gets taken away from it and sent to the other wheels. That'd be a good thing to have.
Just a reminder, the 4Motion all-wheel drive system from Volkswagen is only available from Volkswagen.
And the Bills 14, Atlanta 10. Second quarter, 6:23 before the half.
Rayon Hill gave that Christmas gift to Brandon Spoon, coming in and knocking the ball free from Chris Chandler, and Spoon picked it up in the air. That's just one of those shots as a defensive back you only get once or twice in a season, and when you take it, it feels so good. That's a big grin, and he deserves it.
Hill, a second-year pro out of LSU. Well, you just look down Buffalo's defense. It's just young all the way around. I mean, Hansen, as you mentioned, is 11 years in this league, but you got Schobels, the rookie, up front out of TCU. The linebacking core so young, led by Spoon in the middle, a rookie. The outside guys, Clement's a rookie. Winfield, the left corner, 3 years out of Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's a big advantage. When you're 2-11 here, what's good for Buffalo? What's good? Well, there's a bunch of things that are good. They're 2-11, but they're coming on strong at the end of the year. They're 2-11, but young players have had a chance to get a lot of game experience. And so over the course of the next several years, you'll see Buffalo as one of the huge rebound teams in the NFL because of the foundation they're laying today.
And Trevor, they played New England tough last week, lost in overtime 12-9. And don't forget, New England beat Miami yesterday by 7. And the kick, Vaughn. Corralled and dropped around the 15-16 yard line. Saturday is college basketball here on CBS Sports. Some of you will see the Louisville Cardinals taking on the Kentucky Wildcats. Others will see the Georgetown Hoyas taking on the Bruins. Check your local listings, and for more, go to CBSSportsline.com. America Online, keyword CBS Sportsline. And Hoop fans, we got a little special news for you. Christmas present of our own. 97 days from today. Final Four in this building begins. 99 days from today will be the Final Four game, the championship game.
They'll put the court down here, close this off, curtain it off, and probably have about 60,000 people.
First and 10 from the 17. Maurice Smith on the pitch. Finds a seam, driven back at the 21-yard line. Good pursuit, led by Spoon.
Well, Brandon Spoon is one of those young guys that has really benefited from playing time. He was supposed to back up Sam Cowart, their all-world middle linebacker. Cowart goes down with an Achilles injury, lost for the season during training camp, and so young Brandon Spoon has to come in and be the guy in the middle. Well, in the beginning of the season he struggled, but you could see with that tackle he came in with authority, both with his assignment and with the physical tackle.
Second down, I formation for Atlanta. Chandler, deep drop, looking. Flush down in the pocket, dumps underneath to the 25-yard line, and it's caught by the tight end, Reggie Kelly. Or was it? Now there's a flag down.
Well, it looks like illegal.
Personal foul. Roughing the quarterback, number 53, pushing him down unnecessarily on the rollout. 15 yards to the end of the run, first down.
You know, they had what they wanted there. They forced the play to break down. Chandler is not going to make something happen on the scramble. And Keith Newman comes in and just does a bonehead thing. Oh, no need to even touch him there. And Chris Chandler is one of the quarterbacks that officials are going to protect at all costs because they know that he is absolutely helpless. And Williams knows that too, Coach Williams. And boy, what a break for Atlanta.
Clock running, coming up on 5 minutes left. First and 10 now at the 41-yard line. Fifth flag against Buffalo this half for 45 yards. They fake the handoff. They throw to the tight end. Big yards coming for Reggie Kelly. And rolled out of bounds at the 35 by Spoon. Stops the clock with 4:57 left in the half. And Atlanta now in good field position after the big play and also that roughing the passer penalty.
Well, this is what Buffalo has done to themselves. They would have had them stopped had they not had that roughing the passer penalty on Newman. Instead, not only do they get 15 yards and a first down, now they've got new life and a spark and another big passing play, and now they're down in field goal range.
Christian and Maurice Smith in the backfield. Chandler throws a deep ball, has single coverage into the end zone, incomplete. Had a good look at Finneran. And somehow Nate Clements recovered. Good burst of speed by the rookie.
Now Finneran's a young receiver. He will learn not to look back so soon because Clements knows that ball's coming, and it's when he telegraphs it, Finneran does, and he puts his hands up too early. So if Finneran sees the ball's coming, he's watching the hands go up, and now Clements' hands go up. What Finneran needs to learn is to look late and put his hands up late so he doesn't telegraph it to the man coverage corner.
Finneran, 2 years out of Villanova. Second down, near sideline, Mathis, and reaches to the 27-yard line. Winfield, and wrapped him up. And Trevor, going back to this playoff picture, what has to happen? Atlanta's got to win out. Very simple. Very simple. Tampa Bay, New Orleans playing right now, and Tampa Bay has that lead against the Saints by 20. And the Giants also in this playoff picture, leading Seattle by 14-10. Giants have come back to take the lead.
Giants need to lose one of the next three. New Orleans and Tampa each need to lose two of the next three. So one of them's going to lose today. But the Falcons need to have that happen, and they need to win out. That's their playoff scenario.
Most important point, Atlanta's got to win out. Flags are down. Pressure is on, and down goes Chandler at the 36. Newman, the strong side linebacker.
Now this is going to be called back.
Defense, offside, number 77. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That's Kendrick Office. The problem is that Chandler took the hit. Even though they're going to get the 5 yards in the first down, he took another hit. Keith Newman's going to be the guy that's going to come in to hit him. But even with the 5-yard penalty, Chandler still takes the pounding. He hits the turf, he gets back up off the turf, and that blitz worked like they planned it. Coach is upset because nullified by the guy jumping.
First down at the 22. Mathis goes in motion. A pump. Off the fingertips, incomplete. Well, they had the post pattern as Mathis had a half a step on Winfield.
He had a half a step, but boy, it was the wrong half a step. He's going to pump off to his right. That's not there. He turns back, and the problem is that Winfield is too close. So the ball, with its trajectory, carries too far. You see Rayon Hill there, same thing. It forced Chandler to throw the ball a little too high to clear those guys.
Second down and 10. Christian, the lone back. 4 wide receivers for Atlanta. Quick throw, incomplete to the near side. He wanted Sean Jefferson, and maybe some confusion, Trevor, on that route.
Well, some confusion, but I think it's a nod to the blitzing of Buffalo's defense that they're throwing this pass short right now, because they were expecting. Look at Jerry Gray, defensive coordinator, again another guy that Greg Williams brought over from Tennessee. You know, he's calling all these blitzes, and he's calling it on second and long. And so that time, second and long, what did Atlanta do? They went with a short 3-step drop and got the ball out. That means they're really worried about those blitzes.
Third down and 10. Atlanta 4 of 6 today on third down. Throws to the middle of the field and is caught. Jefferson at the 14. He'll be short of the first down. Knocked down by Winfield and Foreman.
You know what? At least Atlanta on this play, they don't get the first down, but at least they figured out how to pick up Rayon Hill on the blind side. Rayon Hill's going to come blitzing through here, and fullback Bob Christian's waiting for him. Now that's the play the series before that Rayon Hill caused the fumble that Brandon Spoon intercepted in the air and scored a touchdown. So at least Atlanta, Craig, figured it out and made an adjustment.
How about this? Feely, a spectacular season, but all 7 misses right here in the dome. This will be from 33 yards. And finally, Feely connects on his home turf. Officially 32 yards. And a timeout at the Georgia Dome. Buffalo 14, Atlanta 13.
Howie, what's a good gift to get for somebody you really care about? Football tickets.
No. Something you get more use out of.
Season tickets.
Something from the heart.
Luxury suite.
Oh, no!
No, Howie, it's a free Nokia phone from Verizon Wireless, just in time for the holidays, so it makes a great gift.
And football tickets.
Now at Radio Shack, get a free Nokia 5100 series phone after instant rebate. Plus, get 3,500 minutes for only $35 monthly access. Radio Shack.
Buffalo 14, Atlanta 13, 2:28 left before we get to halftime. And Feely connects Trevor from 32 yards out.
You know, I like what he does after he makes a field goal. You know, he acts like he's done it before, and he'll do it again.
And last week, a week ago Saturday, Arizona's Bill Gramatica. First field goal of the day, folks, against the Giants, and he's celebrating, makes that high jump, comes down, and tore ACL.
My goodness.
Out for the season.
For all the people that like to pick on kickers and think they're a little odd, a little flaky, that adds such a brilliant chapter.
Short kick at the 6-yard line. Avion Black. Well, those pads are popping. 19-yard line. Buffalo had 9 plays, 68 yards, and about a 4-minute drive.
And now Alex Van Pelt has an opportunity to show us his command of this offense. He knew it coming in because he had run it in the past, knew it much better than Rob Johnson did. Now that Johnson's out with a broken collarbone, these are the kinds of situations where that knowledge of the offense really helps. They've got a shot now with 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go down and expand this lead.
An update on Johnson, by the way, threw light this week. Full motion, by the way, as Greg Williams told us. Passing about 15 yards a throw. Van Pelt fires a dart complete at the 29-yard line. Reggie Germany, a rookie out of Ohio State, with the reception.
And now Van Pelt managing this 2-minute drill. Trying to get a play off before the 2-minute warning in 4 seconds.
Gets the play off, and boy, barely got the ball into the hands of Bryson.
They wish now they hadn't done that.
That's a 2-minute warning.
Dronette crashed through to make the tackle, and the 2-minute warning. 1:56 left in the half. We'll be back to the Georgia Dome.
This is a message from America to the extraordinary men and women who are serving their nation during this holiday season. From the folks back home.
You guys are the true heroes. And from all my people, my family at home in San Diego, we really appreciate you guys over there.
America says thank you.
Tonight on CBS, the only thing Professor Max Bickford loves more than teaching is inspiring his own kids. CBS invites you to see television at its best. The education of Max Bickford tonight on CBS.
Rob Johnson broke his right collarbone in 3 places. He says he won't be able to come back even for the final game on January 6th. The Bills would like to see him back so he can get some more experience in this offense. But before the game, I went down and shook his hand, and he reached out with his left hand.
Interesting.
Which tells you that his right hand is still, or right collarbone is still very tender.
But Trevor, you bring up the point. Greg Williams, the most important thing he told us, health. I want to see Rob Johnson healthy. And you went ahead and made this question. I mean, is that because of you want to see him one more time before you have to make a decision about a quarterback for Buffalo?
That's part of it. They want to know if he's the guy for next year. The other part of it is if he is the guy for next year, every game he gets experience in this new offense, which normally takes a couple of years for a quarterback to really get down, will be helpful for next season.
Looks like Rob just rolled out the cot from the locker room, doesn't it? Van Pelt sets and throws incomplete. And that's a rare miss by Riemersma. A sure-handed tight end that you got to elevate as one of the best in the National Football League. Tony Gonzalez also mentioned that same breath in Kansas City.
We didn't drop that because Van Pelt gunned it in there like Michael Vick would have, or Rob Johnson. He doesn't have that kind of arm. But Rob, see there, he just patted his friend who was on his right side. He reached across and patted him with his left hand. And so that tells you that he is, you know, it's very tender. And the coach would like to see him back for the 6th, but he says there's just no way.
High hanging punt. Gordon back at the 22-yard line, heads far side. Oh! What a block! Gordon picked up and is hit and dropped at the 41-yard line. Quincy McCord.
McCord just welcomes Prelo to Atlanta. Oh, that's what, you don't get those. I played special teams for a lot of my career in addition to other things. You don't get a shot like this but once every 4 or 5 seasons. Take a, right? 23, boom! Oh, man. The first thing that hit was the back of his head. It's one thing to get knocked on your back. It's another thing where the back of your head's the first thing. 23, right there, back of his head is the first thing that hits.
52-yard kick, a 19-yard return.
Quentin McCord will get another one of those in another 8 years.
Chandler to the sideline. Out of bounds at the 49. That's Finneran with the reception. Coming up on the Nextel halftime report. Make sure you stick around. Jim, Mike, Randy, Jerry, all the scores, all the highlights. I'll update you, of course, about the playoff situations around the league. Plus a report from the Cleveland Green Bay game that's coming up. Second game of our doubleheader here on CBS.
They're still talking about that big hit. They're describing it. Gordon was the beneficiary of that. Boy, players know that that's unusual.
Buffalo sends some pressure. Chandler up over the middle, and it's caught. Kozlowski breaks it at the 10 and dropped at the 8-yard line by Winfield. Greg Williams told us that Chris Chandler has one of the prettiest, best long balls in the National Football League.
And that was as pretty as they come. They get the tight end up the middle. Take a look at 85, bottom of your screen. When he catches this, 3 Bills are going to hit him, and all 3 are going to end up on the ground. And then he goes on, and Winfield's able to save the touchdown. But I mean, that's a big, powerful tight end who often plays fullback for them in their offense. He's a very thick guy. As we see him limping, it'll hurt to lose him because, you know, he's the 8th different receiver that Chandler has hit so far today. And you saw his power as he knocked 3 guys down and broke that tackle to continue with the run after the catch. Actually 9 that have caught a pass.
That was a 43-yard gain. Chandler in this half, 15 of 22 for 217 yards.
He's a thick guy. He's only about 6'2". He's about 255. And again, he's built like a fullback, even though he plays tight end. So they play him at fullback a lot. That's how he can shake off 3 different defenders breaking that tackle.
Atlanta first and goal at the 8-yard line. Double tight set with Kelly and Crumpler. Maurice Smith, the ball carrier, and very little. Well, this crowd shooting out some boos.
Well, the crowd's been disappointed. I mean, since 1966, the Falcons haven't had back-to-back winning seasons. And so, you know, they're used to seeing the Falcons not do well, and that's the change of attitude that needs to happen for them to be able to perform consistently. And that change of attitude in the fans won't happen unless the players get it down first.
Second down and goal. Under a minute left in this opening half. Mathis in motion. Split backfield. Chandler looks one way, throws the other. Bad throw, and it's picked. Bad throw, Clements the rookie. Second interception of the day by the Bills secondary.
Tony Martin, the veteran, working on the rookie Clemens. Chandler's looking to his right, and Martin doesn't even think that the ball's going to be thrown his way. You can see him at the end looking back at Chandler thinking, what on earth were you thinking throwing the ball to me? Chandler just thought that Martin, as the veteran, would be able to go up and take the ball away from Clements, but no such luck. As you look at the development of this young defense, however, after Atlanta took over the momentum, got down in scoring position on a 2-minute drill, less than a minute to go in the half, they come up with a big interception in the end zone. That means so much to a young developing team.
Second career interception for Clements. Ran his first one back for a touchdown when he picked off Peyton Manning back in late September. Bryson, the ball carrier, up to around the 23-yard line.
And you know, 2 things have happened in this first half. to help Buffalo so much. When the Falcons scored on their first drive, Buffalo came right back and answered with a touchdown. And then the last drive of the half, Falcons threatening, Buffalo, big interception in the end zone. This team is a different team than it was the first month of the season.
Well, incredible ending to this first half as Atlanta was on the door, on the front porch, nearly kicked the door down, but the rookie, Nick Clements, picked off a bad throw by Chris Chandler. Maurice Smith started the scoring 1-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0. As you mentioned, Bryson comes right back to score 15 yards out. Feely hit one from 35 to make it 10-7 after the first quarter. Spoon, the middle linebacker, intercepted Chandler and ran it back for a touchdown. And then Feely connects from 32 yards out on a field goal. 14-13 at the half here at the Georgia Dome. Buffalo and Atlanta.
Inside.
This is Tony McGee of the Cincinnati Bengals. Tony helps the United Way build stronger communities by supporting after-school programs for kids. For kids.
Bengals in the house, baby. Bengals in the house. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Your mom coming to get you?
Tony McGee. One big kid.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Direct Connect Halftime Report. Nextel. Get right through.
And welcome to the Nextel Halftime Report. Jim Nance from our Fifth Avenue studios. Mike Ditka, Randy Cross, Jerry Glanville chomping at the bit, ready to update you on
I got some highlights.
Scores. You got a lot of good
I got highlights.
too. People will not be let down by you. I know that. 17 at all. 17-17 Seattle and the Giants.
Just about what we expected. We thought Sean Alexander would have a big day running the football, and he did. Took this one early, cut off the left side, broke it outside.
Get your giddy up,
yards for a touchdown.
Giddy up.
I like this guy. I tell you what, the Giants hung in there. They got a touchdown from Dane, and then the defense went to work. Michael Barrow gets away, knocks the ball out of Hasselback's hands, picked up by Michael Strahan. He takes it.
Watch this lower shoulder. That shoulder.
Touchdown's good for 2 seconds.
But what's good for the goose is good for the gander. They come right back. Kerry Collins gets the ball. He's stripped by defensive tackle. Antonio Cochran.
John Randall.
Fell on the ball. He's calling the goose. About a goose for the gander.
San Diego and Kansas City are tied, but Todd Peterson, as we speak, is lining up for a field goal. 10:26 to go. They're in the third quarter. They're good rushing numbers on each side.
Well, Brees Holmes got the ball first and made things look.
Hey, that's a penalty.
Came back in most states.
He'll be fine.
But what the running game has done is it gave both quarterbacks an opportunity to throw short passes. Trent Green there to Dunn, sets up their touchdown, and Doug Flutie gets a nice quick pass to Freddie Jones for the Chargers. It's tough, it's physical, it's weather. It means late in the game there's going to be a big break.
And Peterson made that kick I spoke of, 33 yards out for the lead. Ravens have picked Kitna twice. Perhaps today they'll get that elusive first shutout of the season. They had 4 last year, their Super Bowl winning season. Jerry, here's your information time.
Oh, watch Spikes. Watch Spikes. He's after Shannon Sharp. Plays over, pushing ahead. Shannon Sharp gets up, talks about his mama. Oh, they don't like each other. And here's a big sack. Ooh, I like that.
Darrell
Williams sacking Elvis. And here he is. We talked about him. Terry Allen. He's old. He's got bad knees, but he still runs like he's at Clemson. And this is picked off by your favorite linebacker, Ray Lewis. Pitch it laterally. Don't hang on to it. Should have given it to a fast guy.
It set up a Stover field goal on the last play of the first half, 13-0. Lions and the Steelers, and without the bus, they put up 27 in the first half. Cordell Sharp here today, Mike.
Talked about it in the pregame show. Cordell Stewart's going to burn this defense, and he has done it already for 2 T-days.
Vikings without Todd Bauman. He went out real early in this game, re-aggravating a thumb injury. Spurgeon Wynn has come in. He's played well, but Jacksonville's offense has not been stopped.
Well, Wynn was 11 of 12. That's why they have any yards, because early, right here off of Brackens, is why Todd Bauman's thumb went out. That's why Spurgeon Wynn came in the game. And then it came down to what Jerry talks about in the pregame show. Stacey Mack, take the pressure off Brunell. You do that, he can throw the ball down the field. But Spurgeon Wynn is comfortable. He's getting into the groove. And when you're a Viking quarterback, you're getting into the groove. Yeah, that's the groover right there.
Mike Ditka's favorite player.
Love him, hate him. Yeah, mostly hate him, but he's a heck of a talent.
Chicago, Leon Johnson scores their touchdown. Stephen Davis for the Redskins, 10 up, halftime.
Well, you see the rushing numbers right there. Anthony Thomas, He had a good rush, but I tell you, Stephen Davis is running very well.
The St. Brooks has been intercepted three times. Two of them by Rondé Barber. New Orleans manages a meager 30 yards in the first half. Ricky Williams, 5 carries, 7 yards. That's all. It's embarrassing.
Fake the field goal, then fake the game.
And the Bills lead at Atlanta as the Falcons have lost 3 in a row. Van Pelt only 38 yards passing. Chandler, hot numbers, over 200, but he's been picked twice. Rams, Kroll catching one from Warner. Falk run it from 4 yards out. And they also scored on a botched field goal try by the Carolina Panthers. Ran it back the other way. All right, our doubleheader game today. Green Bay looks to qualify for the playoffs. They're in if they win against the Browns. And for more on that matchup, here are the men who will call the action for you from Lambeau Field. Dick Enberg and Dan Deerdorf.
Jim, here in Green Bay, winter has arrived, but the coals are hot and the bratwursts are on the grill. Cleveland Browns are young and enthusiastic. They lead the NFL with 29 interceptions. They're going to try to throw ice, Dan, on the Green Bay playoff party.
And they're going to hope to dump that ice directly onto the shoulders of Brett Favre, because he is the heart and soul of the Green Bay Packers. 3 times the MVP, and Dick, I think having a season that may qualify him for a 4th. And does he love it here in December at home? Look at these numbers, 40 touchdown passes, an 18-2 record here at Lambeau in December. Pretty gaudy.
Hall of Fame credentials.
Well, and absolutely, Dick, because there's no question he's going to be there. And today making his 155th consecutive start. Astounding.
Well, there's a reason to go to golf to see Tiger Woods or Wayne Gretzky, and hockey or Michael Jordan. You know, there's really a reason, even if you're not a Packer or Browns fan, just to come and see Favre.
I could not agree with you more. And for the Cleveland Browns, offensively, not much there. Defensively, they'll have to intercept Brett if they hope to win.
Always a party in Green Bay. Happy holidays to all of you in New York.
Thank you very much, Dick and Dan. Look forward to their call. It's our doubleheader game later today on CBS. Thanks for being with us on the Nextel Halftime Report.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Direct Connect Halftime Report. Nextel, get right through.
It's the night before Christmas. Get ready to laugh.